What up, people? Welcome back to Rat TV. Today we're reacting to another banger by Alpha Central. This guy just keeps dropping bangers. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and go over to his channel as well, Alpha Central, and go subscribe. Make sure you guys show him some love because he's dropping gems, as I said. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the video.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married, and I'm making this post so that y'all don't do the same thing that I did. This is an accountability post. I met him on Hinge, and this was back when the algorithm was working a lot better, and it was like 2022, I believe. I didn't like his profile. I just knew he was gonna like me, and the next day he did. Normally I name names, but just in case he has a new girl and they're at peace, I don't want to disrupt his situation, so I'm not gonna name his name. But anyway, we met up quickly, we went on a date, and we ended up being like glued to each other pretty fast. We were like in a relationship within like a month, I believe. He locked it down. He was not trying to see me single. This man was fine. He was like 6'3", buff, long hair. He looked like Roman Reigns. Society would easily give him a 9, easily. And if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. But frankly, his looks were pretty irrelevant, honestly. He actually was very kind, very sweet, very empathetic, very emotional, very in tune with his emotions, but also quite emotional. And, you know, he just had a lot of very positive traits. The number one being, he did not play about me at all. We went to brunch with his brother and sister-in-law, and they were kind of cold, like not really like, I don't know, warming up to me. And he called that out immediately. He was like, absolutely not. When his brother was not trying to get to know me after like we had met, he was like, can you put more effort in with Britt? Like, that's my girl. Like, put some respect on Britt's name. Like, he did not play about me at all. I had never in my life dated a man like that. I had never dated a man who was on my side. Like, who, like, I don't know, defended me. I've never had that before. No matter how many adjustments he was willing to make, he couldn't adjust himself to become a chaotic, toxic man when he just wasn't that. And that's all I had ever been used to. You see, I had not taken the time to like truly heal myself after my relationship prior to him, which was with an abusive guy. Very abusive, emotionally avoidant guy. Emotionally unavailable, everything. Okay, I had not healed from that. Not enough.
You know what's crazy? This woman admits she fumbled the man she should have married. She said he didn't play about her. He was loyal, consistent, committed. Even defended her when his own family wasn't sure about her. Society would have rated him a 9, she said. He checked all the boxes. He was ready to build something real. But she wasn't. She says she wasn't healed. Too used to the chaos of toxic men. The ones who gave her drama, not peace. The ones who made her chase validation instead of stability. And now she realizes what she lost. I'll give her credit for taking accountability. Not many do. But this right here is becoming way too common. Women spend years entertaining the wrong men, then wake up when it's too late. They had the man who wanted them, but they were still chasing the men who used them. Healing isn't just about moving on from someone. It's about preparing yourself for the one who's actually meant for you. And unfortunately, that lesson usually comes after the good
Are
man
you
is
a
gone.
basketball player? You're huge. You're something. You're an athlete.
I'm definitely something.
No, but you're
I'm multi-dimensional.
famous in some kind of way.
You said I'm famous in some kind.
like you're
What if I'm just a loser?
Oh, I'm saying you're a basketball player. You're
Honestly,
huge.
what if I'm just a loser and I live at home with my mom?
I mean,
and
you're
a
hot.
baby?
Tall and your skin's
know?
glowing.
You are scared. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We like losers with glowy skin.
Yeah.
Can I get your number?
Get that
Are you
Instagram.
gonna come with us and get McChickens?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay, well, when am I gonna see you?
So in this clip, a group of 3 women are flirting with this 6'7" guy. He has to be at least 6'6", 6'7", or even 6'8". One of them even reaches out and touches him, feeling upon his chain, invading his space like it's nothing. Then he flips it on them. He asks, well, what if I'm a loser and I, live at home with my mom? And you know what they say? We like losers with glowy skin. Damn, that's a classic response. They completely ignore everything he said. They didn't care about the fact that he might be broke. They didn't care about the fact that he might still live at home with his mom. Because the truth is, pre-selection is real, and you guys have to wake up to this. When a woman is attracted to you, she will rationalize everything. If you're her type, it doesn't matter what you say. She's already made her decision. These women were practically begging him to go get food with them after the bar. And when he said no, they tried even harder. One of the girls even said, when am I going to see you again? How am I supposed to see you again? But flip the situation around. If a group of guys did this to a woman, everyone would be screaming harassment. Yet when women do it, it's called flirting. Fellas, listen to me. This is why you need to level up. Work on your looks, your body, your confidence, your money, your life. Because once you become that guy, everything changes. You won't have to chase. You won't have to prove yourself. Women will come
Would
to
you
you.
date a big girl?
How big is big?
How about someone my size? Would you date someone my size?
So as long as you're like making sure that you're healthy and you're putting forward steps like you're healthy, I don't really care how big you are. I just want to see you healthy.
So you're saying as long as I'm in the gym, you would be open to dating?
Yes.
Okay, let's say if I were like not going to the gym, you'd be like, no.
Probably. I just think, well, as long as you're active, I just want to see you like making steps to show that you care about yourself.
So in this clip, a heavier set woman asks a man if he'd ever date a bigger woman. And his answer, he says as long as she's making steps towards being healthy. Now, let me just cut straight to the chase here. He's being nice. That's a nice answer. It's polite. He's trying to be respectful, and I commend him for doing that. But let's be honest. Most men won't say what they really think out loud because it's very taboo, and a lot of people would just ridicule us for saying it and say we're misogynistic. Because the truth is, even though you see a lot of men dating obese and heavier women, it's not because that's what they truly want. It's because that's what's available to them. Those are the only options and choices they have. I promise you, and mark my word, if you gave those same men $1 million and a Lamborghini tomorrow, 90% of them would be gone by next week. Either they'd leave or they'd start exploring other options because deep down, they always wanted something different. Nobody wants to date a obese woman by choice. That's just simple. That's not fat shaming, that's reality. Men are visual. Attraction matters. You can talk about body positivity all you want, but biology doesn't care about hashtags. The harsh truth is, being obese and overweight is not attractive. It never has been. It's just that society has become too afraid to say
Wait,
it.
Darius, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
I have to agree with Sade over there. Why? What compelled you to talk about assets? Like, are you a male gigolo or something?
No, I talked about assets because I own a business in California, like I said before, and I
What is
make
that
o-
business?
I own a restoration with furniture business in California, and I make over $200,000 a year with that. So if I bring a girl in with me, she has to be able to, and if I have $100, she has to be able to make 125, 150, and not bring it down to 75 or 50. Asset, not liability. That's what I mean by that.
So what about if the girl doesn't have any money, but she actually really loves you?
So she pops her balloon because he says that the next girl that he dates needs to be an asset, not a liability. You see, a lot of girls just think that they need to come to the table with nothing and offer no value to a man's life, and he's just supposed to lay down and let her take all his assets. He then explains that he makes over $200,000 a year with his business, which is a restoration business, very popular, and that whoever he dates needs to contribute her fair share. And the second he says that, she gets triggered. But here's the crazy part. When a woman says, I want a man who makes six figures, nobody blinks. It's standards, right? It's her preferences, and she has a right to do that. And I completely agree with that. If you don't want to date a broke man, that is fine. But here's the problem. Here's a double standard. When a man says, I want a woman who brings something to the table, suddenly he's broke, insecure, or not a real man. Make it make sense. This guy just doesn't want to date a broke woman. Other guys don't have a problem with it, but this guy, he just wants his woman to be bringing something to the table and, contributing her fair share, like I said. You know, he's not saying he needs a woman to fund his life. He's saying that he wants a woman who adds value. You don't want to date a broke man. He doesn't want to date a broke woman. It's that simple. So don't try to shame him for having standards that
Does
mirror
height
yours.
matter in a guy? It does matter? Step on the scale.
Who said I'm insecure about my weight? I don't know you. I'm gonna go.
Lady.
So in this clip, a man asks a woman if height matters in a guy. And of course, she says yes, right? If any girl says height doesn't matter, newsflash, I'll tell you right now, she's lying. But then he flips the question and asks her to step on the scale. And suddenly she's nervous. You see, I always find this very funny. Women are quick to write off a man because he's not tall enough. He doesn't meet the height requirement. He's not 6 foot tall, always 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". But the moment you bring up weight, it becomes offensive. I find that very, very interesting and a very, very crazy double standard. It's the same double standard that we see everywhere, especially in dating apps, right? Take Tinder, Hinge, all these dating apps into consideration for a second. When you sign up, you cannot create a profile without putting your height on your profile, but women don't even have to list their weight. So men don't even know the real weight of the women that they are supposedly dating or try to take on a date. Interesting how equality seems to vanish when the
If
standards
you're
get
not
flipped.
insecure about your weight, just step on the scale.
Red flags in a partner.
A red flag in like a long-term relationship would be someone who like goes out too much and has too many guy friends.
Fellas, go ahead and take that page out of this guy's book immediately. This is a perfect way for you to filter out red flags and to filter out the girls that you do not want to take serious. Women who go out all the time and have nothing else to do but to go to the club with their friends and they have a lot of guy friends are just a simple red flag, and you want to stay as far away from those women as you can because they will literally ruin your life, especially when they are in a relationship. There is no reason for a girl to be going out to the bars, to the clubs with her friends all the time and going on girls trips. That is single woman activity, and this is a perfect way to weed that out, because if a girl prioritizes going to the clubs, the bars, and still wants to go on girls trips while in a relationship, that is the ultimate red flag, and need to get rid of her. Or if you want, you can use her for recreational use only, but taking her serious,
So
hell
all
no.
I have to say is sometimes girls' nights will ruin your relationship.
Honestly, a girls' night out is literally just never a girls' night out.
It's never. Unfortunately, as much as we say it's a girls' night out, it's gonna end up in some deep
Chaos.
Don't let your girls go out.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. Girls' nights will ruin your relationship. Girls' trips will ruin your relationships. There is no space for that in a committed relationship. Listen, these women are literally admitting it themselves. And you know what? I respect the honesty. I'm not even gonna lie. I respect the honesty because a lot of girls would not come out and say this, but these girls are keeping it real. But let's be real on our end for a second here. Nothing good ever comes from a girl's nights out. Nothing ever comes good out of a girl's night when you're in a relationship. It's not about fun. It's not about just having fun. It's about validation, attention, and sometimes temptation. And just like this girl just said, it will end in some deep shit. When alcohol, loud music, and a group of single friends mix together, boundaries get blurry real fast. And here's the truth. Most men already know this. That's why we side eye girls' nights every time it gets brought up. So when women themselves start admitting it, you know it's real.
Body count matters.
No.
Alright, so if it don't matter, what's your body count?
I'm not answering you that.
Why not? You say it don't matter.
Classic contradiction right here. She says body count doesn't matter, but the moment she's asked about hers, she refuses to answer. You see how that works? When it benefits them, it doesn't matter. But when they actually have to be transparent about it, all of a sudden it's private information. And here's the thing, if it truly didn't matter, she'd have no problem saying it out loud. She'd have no problem saying the number out loud. The reason they get defensive is because deep down they know it matters to men. They know it matters in how they are displayed and portrayed and perceived in the sexual marketplace and the dating marketplace. They know it affects how a man views them long term. So instead of owning up to it, they try to shift the narrative and shame men for even asking, or better yet, they lie. But accountability and honesty, that's what separates a woman of value from the
Men
rest.
are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more.
This right here, my friends, is a perfect example as to how logic doesn't even cross a woman's brain. So this woman says a man is supposed to chase her, validate her, and love her more. But let's break that down logically. If women are the ones who get bored faster in relationships and they need more attention just to stay interested, wouldn't that mean that she would need to like the guy more? Because think about it. If a man is constantly chasing, validating, and loving more, she's not putting in the same effort. And when she gets bored, she's gone. This is exactly why so many relationships fail today. Too many women believe they're the prize no matter what they bring to the table, and too many men think overgiving will earn loyalty. But the truth is, when one person is chasing and the other is coasting, the relationship is always on borrowed time. That's all, folks. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment. It helps push the channel so more men can see the reality of modern relationships. I'll catch you guys in the next one.